Now, who doesn't love buying tools? I love buying tools. I love reading about tools. I love shopping for tools. And best of all, I love getting a great deal on tools. But there's a limit to what I can buy. And today I'm going to show you 5 tools that I would rather make than buy. Let's get started. Now, the first tool on my list is a joiner jig for my table saw. I've got 183 square feet in the shop. I really don't have room for a joiner. In fact, I bought one, tore it apart, rebuilt it, and sold it because I wanted that space for other tools. So I built this with some scrap wood out of my wood pile. It works great for me, and I really love using it on my table saw. And let me show you how to set it up. First of all, I use my Freud thin rip blade. It gets a nice clean cut, and I only use this for ripping wood. And I've got a joiner board that I bring right up against it to get a nice snug fit, and then I bring my fence up. And it takes a few minutes to get this aligned, but not too long. There we go. Then I use this board on the back side of my fence so I can clamp this. I put 2 clamps on here, one towards the top and one towards the bottom. And then I'm good to go. Now I got a board that's been ripped a few times. Let's see if we can clean that up. Now, a joiner is going to cost me a minimum of $1,000 or more to get started. Buy a new one, or a nice new one, it's going to cost me several thousand. I had a couple of boards in my shop, put this together, and I'm ready to go. Obviously, you've got to have a good 90-degree angle here. You've got to set it up with a particular blade and use that blade every time. But once you get that done, you can get amazing results and not take up a lot of space in your shop. Now, my second item on my list is my taper jig, and I love this taper jig. I enjoyed building this. I probably built maybe 2 before I built this one. Very simple design. You can find this really on the internet anywhere. I put a couple holes in the top so I can hang it on the wall when I don't use it. I also use this with my thin rip jig because I'm basically ripping a piece of wood. And the key is to make sure that these sides are parallel. You've got a decent piece of wood. This is a really nice piece of plywood. It's not going to move on me. And it was an easy build. It took me maybe a couple hours. So let's set this up and I'll show you a cut. Gives you a nice taper. It's a good cut because I've got a nice blade. I've used this a number of times. Again, it saves me a lot of money. You can buy a Rockler taper jig that's smaller than this for I think $99. A woodpecker is going to cost you about $300. I use scrap wood. I had to buy some pieces here. That cost me like 25 bucks. So in all, I saved maybe 50 some dollars over the Rockler one. It's a good jig, I really like it. Number 3 on my list is a sled for my planer, and this is a DeWalt 735. I made this little cart to come out. I have 300-pound slides here that lock in position, so it's locked and I can unlock it. I really like this setup. Got a hose right here that I can attach, and I made a simple sled. This is basically a melamine shelf with a block on the back of it. I slide this in, and by the way, this has been used quite a bit, as you can see. Slide this in and I'm ready to go. And I've got 8 inches on either side of the sled. It works great to help prevent snipe, and you can't totally get rid of it, but you can get rid of quite a bit by doing this. Now in this particular case, I did find some tables that fold down for $49 on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description. I need a new shelf. That's going to cost me about 15 bucks. So hey, for an extra 35, I could have the tables that fold down, and that gives me 9 inches of range. So I haven't quite decided what to do, but definitely need a new sled. I will say out there are some tables that are $39 and change, and be careful with those. I've read in some of the descriptions that the metal's kind of thin and they will bend and warp easily, so read the descriptions before you buy. This is a really easy thing to do, works really good for you, and really helps eliminate snipe on your planer. 4th on my list is push sticks, and everybody's got to have push sticks. I use these all the time. It's a great safety item for the table saw. I built a few. This is out of Baltic birch, probably my everyday one, but you can see I've cut it up quite a bit. I've got a long sled one for a long piece of wood. Got something a little fancier with some sandpaper on the bottom, which is kind of nice. And I have bought a few. I bought these are PowerTech. I bought these on Amazon. You get 2 for $12.99, which is a great deal. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. I like these because they're for thin pieces of wood, and I can turn the blade down and really get a thin piece of wood through my table saw. This is probably my workhorse because I use this quite a bit. It's nice and thick, and you can find these anywhere. Patterns for guns, patterns for toys, patterns for table saw, like a hand saw, all kinds of things. They're great to have, they're really good to use, and I also like to use this, and it's really just a simple little piece of wood, but I want to push against the side to make sure I don't get a gap in the edge here when I'm pushing this through the table saw. And this is a sacrificial piece of wood, so I don't care to do that with. You can buy some that are plastic, but I'd rather cut into a piece of wood than a piece of plastic when I'm working with a table saw. So that's push sticks. All of this was scrap wood for free. These were $12.99, so I guess you could say, well, you could save $12.99 if you make all these, but I ended up buying a couple. The last thing on my list is a hold down for my miter saw to hold a piece of wood so I don't get too close to the blade. I made this in less than an hour. I did a video short on this and it kind of went viral. These are $16 on Amazon, I think, but I just wanted to see if I could make it. And I like it so much and I use it so much that I made a more, I wouldn't say a Cadillac version, but certainly a more robust version than what I had there. The nice thing is you can hold down a piece of wood and cut without getting too close to the blade. You can put a lot of pressure on that. I built this really strong so I can put a lot of pressure on it. I made this with stuff from the shop. Cost me nothing, and I saved 16 bucks. So for me it was well worth it to make it, and it was a lot of fun to make. Now for the next one on my list is this clamp bracket, and you can find these anywhere on the internet. Probably better for doing boxes than small corners like this, but I just wanted to show you how it works. I probably spent, I don't know, half an hour making these. I made 4 of them. The key is to get this 90-degree angle right here perfect. Everything else really isn't that big of a deal. You can use this to hold it, use these to clamp it, and it works great. I actually like these a lot. I use them quite a bit. I bought these on Temu. Really not worth the money. They're plastic. They don't work that well. You can buy those, a nice set, for anywhere between $28 and $35. And I also made this, and I've got like 4 or 5 sets of these, and these work really good for smaller 45 degrees. Works really well to clamp. I really like these as well. And again, all scrap wood, no big deal. So that's it. I mean, these are great clamps to have. You can never not have enough brackets for clamping, especially 45-degree angles like this. And I like these particular ones. Now, I love making tools and jigs for my shop, but better than that, I love using them to build cool things. And I really enjoy it. What am I going to do next? Well, I was thinking of making a track saw sled. I don't have a track saw, but I can use a circular saw. I think I can do something almost as good for a lot less money. I need to put a new tabletop on my workbench, a boom for my workbench. I need some stops for my miter saw, and the list goes on. And that's half the fun of it. And in my next video, it's tools I would like to buy and I bought. So I'd love to show you some things that I've been looking at. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I certainly had fun showing you some of the stuff I like to make. If you liked the video, please hit like. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. I really am trying to build my channel. This is Dave with Level Up Woodworking, and I'll see you next time.